Standing by.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Complete.
Night falls in the Tajigen temple, and thus the multi-dimensional portal is open. Konnichigen is your favorite vampire superstar host, the multi-dimensional Tajigen Kaiden, a sentient star cluster in VTuber vampire idol form for your entertainment. Hey, I have some blood tea with me right now in case anybody wants it. Oh, I have been looking forward to finally streaming a Vampire the Masquerade game. And all this time I thought the first stream I would ever do that would be Vampire the Masquerade related would be Bloodlines, but it's Bloodhunt instead, which is perfectly fine with me too. So yes, here we are, checking out Bloodhunt for the first time ever. Glad to see you all. I hope your Wednesday is going well. It is a hump day, so I hope it's a good middle of the week to carry you over into the weekend and all the fun stuff that comes with it, hopefully. Yes. It's our first time checking out Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt today as we continue the initiative, so to speak, of checking out a new game every week. And this is one that I've been wanting to see for a while. Like, it's been maybe months by now that I wanted to take a look at it. And we finally are going to do that. I did get to do a little bit of benchmark adjustment yesterday, you know. And I'm so glad I did because there was a lot I needed to adjust in the game. Like, there's a streamer mode in the game that is good to have. So I enabled that immediately. And I did some other tinkering here and there with some game settings. Maybe audio, video, I don't remember exactly. I set it to be a borderless game, but it didn't seem to actually be borderless, which is a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Like, I can just alt-tab out, as I usually do with Fall Guys anyway, which is also supposed to be borderless, I think, but it's not, for some reason. Also, yesterday, another thing I managed to do, I talked about this yesterday when I was playing Fall Guys with the DS4, the PlayStation 4 controller, the DualShock 4. I have what is called the Magic NS for the Switch from Mayflash. I looked it up again, and yes, it does indeed work with PC. And I went and plugged it in. I mean, I put it the USB thingy. It's the Magic NS is a Bluetooth like USB stick, basically. I don't know what the proper term is, so sorry if I'm saying something wrong here. But yeah, it's for the Switch, however, it does work on PC. So I used it yesterday with my DualShock 4. I was in the input mode first, and it didn't seem to acknowledge things for the most part. But then I switched it to X input, and there it worked perfectly with everything. But it does most things I did believe that the controller was an Xbox controller instead of a PlayStation controller. But it's adaptable, you know, it's just a minor pet peeve. However, so what I did was 3 things I tested it out with. I used Steam Big Picture, which thought it was an Xbox controller. I used Fall Guys again, so I did play a little bit of Fall Guys yesterday. I did really well in those games, so that was nice. Some solo games I did, in which it thought it was an Xbox controller also. So it was actually the first time I've seen the Xbox-like buttons on Fall Guys, but that's another story. And what was the other thing? And then I tested it with Fortnite, and surprise, surprise, Fortnite actually acknowledged that it's a PlayStation 4 controller. And I wonder how that works. I wonder what is it about Fortnite that makes it work like that, because Fall Guys, I also played on Epic. So I wonder if I play a game on Steam, what it's gonna be like. And it might be worth looking into, because we could even play Bloodhunt today with that. I just haven't looked at the gamepad settings, but I'm assuming they have a nice controller scheme by default. Hopefully I don't have to modify anything big or anything. I might even find that I prefer playing it with controller, but something about this game gives me the feeling that I'm gonna prefer it with mouse and keyboard. And yes, I played a couple of Fortnite games with the PlayStation 4 controller. Those were my first controller games. And the first game, I made it to the top 10. I made it to the top 10. The second game, I was like number 12 or 13 or something like that. I did really well too. Like, I managed to nearly eliminate a Goku. I was using Vegeta, so that's fitting. No, actually, I think the first game I was number 2, actually. Yeah. I feel like such a pro gamer at Fortnite. I feel like such an epic gamer, man. Seriously. Saying that. But yeah, the second game I didn't quite make it as far as that, but it was still far, like top 12, top 13. But I managed to land a few shots very nicely, and that's important because, you know, it's a very different controller scheme. Aiming is very different. So I was hoping my aim would be good, and it was good. Like, I had a mythic DMR from my reality sibling, and I landed a few nice shots. I didn't get to kill that player, but I was very close. That was really good shooting. And yeah, I still managed to have really good games overall. But ultimately, I do prefer to play with mouse and keyboard because maybe I need to play with the controller longer and figure out better ways to do things, but there are two main advantages that you get when you play with mouse and keyboard. One is that you don't have to cycle through the weapons to get to the weapon you need to. Not necessarily, at least. You can just hit the key for the specific weapon, and the same goes for building. At least in my case, because I reassigned the keys to also be other keys that I have mapped on my mouse. Not that I do much building, not that I do building mode a lot, but sometimes I do play some modes that have that. And sometimes, yes, I do play build battle royales, though I haven't done that in over a month, I think. But anyway, I might be doing it again soon, actually. As long as I don't have any quests that I'm doing. And yeah, I can do it just for like a change or something. Or I might do Save the World, which also includes building, but it has very different keys for it, but I digress. The other advantage that you have with mouse and keyboard as opposed to controller is the way you open the map and the inventory, but mostly the map. Because I'm able to just run and open the map with tab, and I just hold tab to see the map and do whatever, while my character is auto-running, and that's very helpful. I can also hold Alt to hold the inventory open like that while my character is auto-running. I can still continue to run while I open the inventory on the controller. I just have to get used to it, get used to the key, the button for that. I think it's one of the gamepad buttons. But the map, I couldn't find a way to open the map while continuing to run. It was very difficult. Maybe it would be easier with an Xbox controller, but... or maybe it would be more difficult, but... you know, it's with the select button in... it's with the select button and in the DS4, I'm looking at it right now actually. It would be the share button, which is the equivalent of the select button, kind of. That's how you open the map in Fortnite. And I'm assuming it's select in an Xbox controller. I do have an Xbox 360 controller. I could give it a try for the fun of it. You know, now it's the moment in Fortnite in which I'm just waiting for more missions to appear. More missions to unlock more parts for Snap. More vibing quests for more of the lore and all that. Or some other challenges that give me rewards. But when I have finished doing all the ones I want to do, all the ones I need to do to get those cosmetics and such, all there is left to do is just play to win, which is great too. However, this also gives me the opportunity to be doing some extra things, like play Save the World, maybe, to play other game modes, to play build mode for the fun of it, to play with a keyboard, with a controller like this, and do other stuff. Because otherwise I want to focus all my attention on those missions while still trying to win the game, depending on what the missions are, what the quests are. But yeah, I've actually won games while doing quests specifically. Like, I'm here just trying to like hit enemies with a Ripsaw launcher, and I end up winning the entire game. Yeah, because I have good skills in Fortnite, I gotta say it. Like, I'm not a pro player. I don't know if I aspire to be one, I don't think so. But my skills in Fortnite can definitely be said to be more than decent. So that is good. That is good. And I'm glad about that. I'm never gonna get too content with that though. I'm never gonna get too overconfident about it either. I even now hesitate to say I'm good at Fortnite, you know? But anyway, I digress. Battle Royale, from Fortnite to Bloodhunt. And yeah, don't worry, we are going to stream Fortnite again next week. And probably the week after, because it's the season finale. I'm gonna contact some people. Unless somebody contacts me, you're more than welcome to for a collab for Fortnite. Sounds a little bit redundant for Fortnite. Anyway, or Fortnite night, you know, if we play at night. Oh, also, I should mention, we might have another evening stream for that Fortnite Friday because, well, first of all, because some people may only be available at that time if we do a collab, which I would love to. And also because we may have Dungeons and Dragons that day instead in the morning. I'm not sure if I'm able to make it. We were going to have it on September 10, which is Saturday of next week. However, somebody has a commitment that came up, or they forgot about. I don't remember what it was. So they're hoping to move it to the day before, Friday, September 9. However, I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it to that. One way or another, I want to have a live stream. And I think, yeah, it's going to be at nighttime, probably like 7 Eastern, like last time, like the Ram Royale stream we did last Saturday. So same thing for next Friday. And honestly, it might even be the case for other streams during that week. We shall see how they go. Because I want to get that availability with other streamers, with other VTubers who have collabs potentially. Apex Legends and Ram Royale are the other 2 possible games that may have a collab with other people. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, usually here is where I would also love to talk about game announcements and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I watched the Overlord episode yesterday too, also after the stream. Oh my gosh, it was so good, it was so good, it was so good. I'm so glad they executed some events the way they did. It was so good. Ainz, his scenes are like so good. Like Suzuki Kotaro, I think was the name of the person behind Ainz. Momonga. Anyway, I digress. And Alurin sent me the opening to Skeleton Knight from Another World, and it looks really fun too. And Pelek is the singer for that, which drove me nuts. Like, wow. That is something that immediately gets my attention. So there may be another anime for me to watch there. And I already have like 3 other anime that I was in the middle of and I kind of dropped. But that's another story, isn't it? And I did want to mention, speaking of anime, I saw, checking out things on Steam earlier, that Warframe has a 10th anniversary apparently, and they're gonna have an anime, I think? That sounds really fucking awesome. And I may want to watch that Warframe anime if they're gonna have something like that. So it's worth checking out. A Warframe anime. Tenno. I wanna hear how they say some of the words from Warframe in Japanese. Like Tenno, the Tenno, you know? Ten-o or Tenno. Yeah, I think they're gonna have like a double N situation, like Tenno, something like that maybe. I'm very curious to see how it's written. Definitely gonna be a katakana thing, so katakana I still haven't learned. I'm still going very hard on like practicing hiragana over and over in Duolingo at least. I need to do more than Duolingo though, because I want to be able to handwrite it. And Duolingo does teach you the strokes, but they don't teach it to me enough times. And like using your finger on your phone screen is not quite the same as using a pen on a paper or a pencil or a marker on a whiteboard. I want to practice doing this on a whiteboard as well. It's fun to me. It's fun for me to write on whiteboards sometimes for some reason. I'm the sort of maniac that just likes like writing lists of things. And I once had a whiteboard and I had some markers and I just spent an entire day literally writing lists of books, of book series, of I don't remember what the hell else. Literally the entire blasted day was just spent doing that. while probably watching a live stream or listening to music. It was many years ago. It was many years ago. But yeah, with all that in mind, let's tell a vampire story. It's time to jump into Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt, and one thing I didn't do was benchmark it with VC Face and OBS open. So I'm hoping that it doesn't go badly. It's kind of difficult to tell with the graphics of the game. Also, you may see a little bit of a weird situation with the language. Hopefully it's all in English, but the game started fully in Spanish for me, but I changed the language. And I didn't restart the game when I did that, so some parts remained in Spanish. The launcher, the one that has like the logo, easy, and the easy anti-cheat thing, it's in Spanglish for a moment. It was saying starting in Spanish, and now it's saying waiting for game in English. Hopefully retain the English settings the most. Now, I didn't restart the game, so if some parts retain the Spanish, as I said, that's understandable. But now I am starting the game after finishing it. I even like, you know, I turned on my computer since, turned it off yesterday, turned it on today. And now we should have everything in English now, including like the voice acting and everything. Yeah, because even the voice acting was in Spanish and all that. I believe it was a Spain-based Spanish, Castellano. And I'd rather have it in English, personally. It is right now in English. Let's see if it's able to appear on the screen. It should be, but let's wait it out a little bit. Let's wait for a moment. I just had the loading screen there for a moment, what you didn't see. Hey, at least black is something very fitting for this, right? Night falls. And I am just like doing a lot of things that I hear in New York by night, in LA by night from Jason Carl. Oh yeah, there it is, there it is. World of Darkness, Shark Mob. I think I actually skipped over this last time. Or did I? Actually, I'm not sure. Oh my god, this is seriously slowing things down though. I'm gonna open the task manager as well, because this is a lot. Actually, let's skip that, let's skip that. Summer Season Succession. Give me a second, I'm gonna open the task manager and keep an eye on things there. Oh yeah, the Bloodhunt soundtrack is available. I also saw the announcement of that in a video that got released in the World of Darkness channel. Okay, so the tutorial here is showing me things. Use E to switch game mode, use Q to start queuing for the selected game mode. Which is funny because it showed me that yesterday also, but I didn't do anything. Practice traversal and try out different weapons. No other players, just a single bot to defeat. That's definitely what I want to do. I want to choose the tutorial. Wait, is it making me jump into the tutorial already? Anyway, we can talk about all sorts of things Vampire the Masquerade and maybe even World of Darkness as the stream goes on. I would be more than happy to do that because I'm a huge fan. Never played a game though before. I mean, never played a tabletop game session. I did play Bloodlines. Never finished it though, but yeah. And I mentioned before what my clan of choice is. However, if you are interested, I would let you guess. I would let you drop a guess. And I wonder who would get it right because I kinda embody the stereotypes of the clan, or at least the classics, as I prefer to say, instead of stereotypes.
We have lived in secrecy among you, maintaining the masquerade.
The masquerade.
We have influenced your society, fed on your blood.
Looks great.
Thrived among you.
This is so good.
Until now, our leadership was betrayed.
Aha.
Decimated in a savage attack. Chaos followed, and a bloody sectarian war now rages on the streets of Prague.
Praha. Where is Praha? No, we gotta talk about this lore.
This has made us vulnerable, exposed to the kindred's most fanatical enemy.
The Second Inquisition.
Entity.
That's the Second Inquisition, isn't it?
The tables turned. The hunters have become
Bloodhunt. Oh, yes. That's gotta be the second Inquisition. Survival essentials. Pick up a ranged weapon. Right. My GPU, my RAM memory, sometimes my CPU are maximizing. So, we are going to reduce the graphics, which were already on medium, if I recall correctly. I don't know which are the best ones to reduce to medium, to low, I mean. Oh, okay, it just does everything at once. Alright. Hopefully that helps. Restart is needed for some of the settings to take effect. Okay, but my GPU is already doing better. And, okay. What is this class, by the way? Okay, I want to mention something. I can't do it here, I think. It just jumped me into the tutorial already, but if I got that right, I noticed that... Oh, the deadly red gas. That's what they call it, eh? Alright. Yeah, because it's a battle royale game, it's gotta have this area that you need to avoid, so that there's a circle. I gotta get used to the controls. Tab opens the inventory. And M is for the map. Wish there was a quicker way to get to the map. That might be better to remap. For the Fortnite control scheme, if you will. So, before I start talking about the lore that we just saw, I noticed the clans that are represented. The thing about this is that you gotta do it from a gameplay perspective, not from a lore perspective, so that's why they chose those clans maybe, but the clans that are represented are Bruja, Nosferatu, Toreador, and Ventrue. There's like, if I got that right, there's 2 Bruja classes, 2 Nosferatu classes, 2 Toreador classes, and 1 Ventrue class. We can look at them after we exit here. In the loadouts, I think they were called. But this is interesting, the red gas. This is probably gas from the Inquisition, from what we saw in that cutscene before. I was wondering if they were gonna use sunlight as like the storm in this game. Like, you know, you stay out of the sunlight. But this makes better sense, I guess. You know, sunlight to just be around... To not be around a particular circle of the city. That would look kind of weird and kind of defies the laws of physics. But I wouldn't have been surprised to see something like that. Okay. Oh, shoot! I just went into the gas. Ah! Would be so funny to just die in the tutorial before doing the first action the tutorial wants you to do. But I want to see the abilities. I am using, I believe, one of the Bruja classes. Yeah, we gotta talk about the lore a little bit, though. I wonder what the story behind this game was, because you're getting vampires just jumping around rooftops, murdering each other in broad moonlight. You know, not broad daylight, but, you know, the expression broad daylight. In broad moonlight, what the hell happened to the masquerade? Like, they're just all killing each other in, you know, sect against sect or something. Like, what is going on here, right? There's these massive shootouts. Mortals are caught in the middle of it. What is going on? Oh, X to use your heightened senses to find armor. Okay. W plus space to climb walls. Every vampire is capable of it, from the looks of it. How do you open a door? You can't open that door. Okay. I gotta get used to the control scheme. As somebody who's used to the Fortnite scheme, for example, E for me is how you pick up an item instead of F. So that might be tough for me. And R is indeed reload, which is good. Tab to access your inventory and put on the armor. You have to put it on like this. Okay. To locate a mortal with resonant blood. I see someone there. Resonant blood. Hold F to feed on the mortal with resonant blood and become more powerful. And again, there might be other mortals nearby. In this case, there aren't, but like... What if there are mortals nearby and they just see you feeding and you're just like breaking the masquerade like that? You don't kill the mortal, it seems. What happens if I shoot them? Kill the mortal. Oh, that reveals me. Okay. Like, what happens when you kill a mortal? I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is a tutorial. This is a tutorial. It's not canon. It's not in continuity. Yeah. It reveals you on the map. Okay, because like, I could understand there's no humanity system. You don't get any stains on your humanity for just murdering people left and right. Like, but then there's gotta be a consequence, so they made you be revealed on the map. Don't go just killing people like a cold-blooded murderer. I mean, you're a vampire, but... and you're cold, but that doesn't necessarily make you like that. Press E to use your archetype powers, Shockwave Punch. Press Q to use your clan powers, Soaring Leap! That does sound like a Jyhad thing. I believe... I've seen some Ventru and Gangrel do it too. Victor Temple was doing it a lot in LA by Night, I recall. And I believe Jasper, Nosferatu, and Victor Temple is a Ventru. Jasper was also doing it, I think. Look at these crossbows! So cool! Okay, how do I cycle through weapons? Oh, they do have numbers. They do have numbers attached to them. The Tommy gun is number 1. These dual crossbows are number 2. Okay, let me see what's around me. What is this? Oh, more weapons, more weapons. Okay. What happens if I pick up another one? How many can I have at a time? I think it did replace something. Oh, blood syringe number 4 is a blood syringe. When you are ready, go to the marker to start the final stage. Fight an enemy. Okay, that's ammo. That's good. I don't know how long this game has been out, actually. I didn't check the date of the game. So I'm curious to see how many veteran players that know what they're doing are gonna be around. You know, actually, yesterday, last night really, it was late at night, when I was testing the game, I actually queued up for a match by accident. And I was just like, queued up for a while, because I was like changing the settings while I was doing that. I didn't realize that I was queued. And I took like at least 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes just doing the settings. And it still didn't find a match, which I was grateful for because I would have been thrown into the deep without learning how to swim, so to speak. But at the same time, it is worrying. Like, are there enough players playing this? Who knows? We did see a few people there in Elysium. That's really interesting that they immediately just throw you into this hub and there's no menu in the game. There's gotta be some sort of squad mode for this, so I wonder what that would look like for that. Let's see if there's fall damage here. You're a vampire, so maybe... Yeah, there's no fall damage, I think, in the game. Let's see how this goes. Okay, let's eliminate the enemy. Talk about breaking the masquerade. But I mean, that's why the Second Inquisition is there. And I think, again, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I could be very wrong about this, but... Hold on, hold on. Okay, Soaring Leap is not what I meant to do. I blood hunted an anarch. Dead. So I guess I'm with the Camarilla. Oh, the anarchs have been defeated. Those filthy, filthy anarchs. Violating our sacred traditions and laws. But yeah, I was gonna say, the red gas I think is a thing from the Second Inquisition. But I could be wrong. Look at the beautiful purple lighting in the back there, in Elysium. The sound effects got a little bit loud there, didn't they? So let me see some settings. Who is that saying hello to me, by the way? SFX volume is gonna be reduced to that. The master volume does take care of it, but you still like have to like reduce volume for like a bunch of other things. I have voice chat fully disabled, so we should not be hearing anything. So actually this may actually play better on a gamepad. So I'll tell you what, let's do something fun. I am actually gonna do what I did yesterday with the Magic NS. I'm plugging it in right now, and I'm gonna use my DualShock 4. Let's see, because it was actually behaving a little bit weird yesterday, the Bluetooth Magic NS thingy. So let me see how to turn it on, because it should automatically turn on when I plug it in. There it is. And now I plug in the controller. And now I'm here. Now, yeah, I think this game also recognizes it as a DualShock 4. So L1 to change the game mode. Nice, all right. I'm gonna do the tutorial again because now I wanna do this with this controller. Let's play with a controller, and now it's wireless because it's fully Bluetooth. The only caveat is that there's a battery to it, but hopefully it doesn't happen in the middle of a match or something. I don't know what the battery life is in the DualShock 4. I must have been doing things with it for like a half hour or an hour yesterday. I am really not sure. So that's the time that was used because I haven't charged it since, which is just plugging it in. And I could play it wired, but when it's wired, the cable is kind of unstable. So let's skip that. We saw that cutscene already. L1 and R1 for that. All right. And of course, with the right trigger, you do this. I would be aiming with the left trigger, I assume. R3. Oh, R3 to search around, and the controller just vibrated. I just felt it vibrate. Okay, how do you pick things up? With square. Good, good, good. On the Xbox controller, I think that would be X. And, okay. Okay, that makes sense. You reload with square also, as it should be, I would say. Press to access inventory and... Okay. It's a little bit difficult for me to access the inventory like this. How do I crouch? How do I crouch? I'm trying to crouch with the right stick. Or no, sorry, with the left stick. And this is... Okay, this wheel could be helpful. You regain health immediately. Actually, let me do something. Let me get myself on the red fog to get some damage. And I will heal myself very soon. Just look at the damage you're receiving there. Aggravated damage, you might call this. Haha. Alright, some damage received. And, yeah, with the graphics, it doesn't look that impressive, maybe, but it's the graphic settings I gotta use. I gotta use those graphic settings. Let's use the blood bag. Wait, how do I use it? How do I use something on the wheel? Ah, I'm just trying to push buttons to do something. Didn't mean to do that. That was a nice landing though. Landing on top of that on the building. But no, let's see. How do you use something on the wheel? I can drop it, but I don't want to drop it. I want to use it. What is that? Oh, that's a tauntor. I think that's a sign. That's meant to be a sign for my teammates, maybe? Oh no, that switches. I think that switches. Yeah, you hold and you switch to your fists. It looked like a signal. Like if you were in a squad or something. Still kind of does that when it switches to the Tommy gun. So maybe I cycle through weapons like that. Because L1 and R1, you would cycle through weapons with that in something like Fortnite, but not here. Might be fun to also try out Apex like that when we get to it. Alright, let me open the inventory. How is it that I open the inventory again? There we go. I gotta get used to it. Just with the wheel, I don't know how to do that. And still, how do I crouch? How do I crouch? Let me see. I need to see the settings. I need to see the settings. Key bindings on the gamepad. To crouch, alternate wheel action. Gamepad face button right. Well, I'm trying to hit that and it doesn't do any of that. The face button, what I think is the face button at least, isn't really doing anything. Alright, let me pick up another weapon then. What were those things I just picked up? LMG though, what is this? Hopefully those sound effects are not too loud. I think they're okay. I think they're okay. Reloading. Oh, and to go for melee, you hold triangle. Okay. I really don't know which one would be best for me. I think I want to keep trying with mouse and keyboard instead. But I don't know. I'm getting used to this. I am also getting used to this, but mouse and keyboard feels more natural to me, if that makes any sense. Alright, let's feed on a mortal. Over there. Time to break the masquerade. Choleric. 10% increased melee damage. Alright, and leave the poor bastard alive. Let's keep climbing those walls here. Soaring leap to use the clan power. Yes! We shall use that. And you can do that in the middle of that, and alright. I'll get used to it, I guess. Now it's time for the final fight. But I still wanted to crouch, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. There's this to open the minimap. No, not the minimap, the map. Which is the same as Fortnite. Is the share/select key. Do those cars blow up if you go towards them like that? Yeah, when they are dawned, I think the best thing to do is to definitely go for the kill with melee. Alright, alright. With all this in mind, I think the best course of action for me is to go for mouse and keyboard. So I'm gonna give that a try. I'm gonna continue on with mouse and keyboard while we do some things in Elysium, looking for some things here. Maybe taking a look at the classes, seeing what's best for me now that I know about the gameplay a little bit more.
A good evening to you.
Ooh, listen to the music. Let me just unplug my Magic NS adapter. And I believe the DualShock 4 should automatically turn off after that, since it won't find a connection anymore. See, I originally purchased that for the Switch. So yes, that does mean that I can indeed play the Switch with a DualShock 4 and an Xbox 360 controller, an Xbox One controller. I say 360 because that's the one I have. I don't have an Xbox One controller. And other ones that I may have. Examine precision ammo? What is this examining for? Oh yeah, and also you can slide. I didn't see how you can slide, but... What are they doing? Yeah. Keep dancing, keep dancing. People are live streaming, I think. There's somebody in a Twitch channel, there's somebody in a YouTube channel from the looks of it. Good for them. There's emotes and all that in the game. I just have to remember how to do that. So, solo, Bloodhunt, all players have 1 extra life. Feed on specific civilians to regain lost extra lives. Battle Royale, bring a friend, you can respawn your limit teammate at respawn stations. Duos team deathmatch. This is very different. This is very different, and there's no squad mode or anything like that. Custos, Keeper of Elysium.
I wish you a good evening.
My name is Custos. I am Keeper of the Elysium. I wish I could offer you a proper welcome, but the situation is uncertain, and what little news we hear is dire. Negotiations with the Anarchs ended in chaos as they betrayed us. Now we must keep both them and the mortals at bay. No Sabbat, it seems, is the Anarchs and the Camarilla. B5 introduced like a lot of conflict between Anarchs and Camarilla. It used to be more like Anarchs are there, but the conflict is really between Camarilla and Sabbat, and maybe some other factions that come here and there, or independent stuff. But it's now changed. And I am guessing Sabbat is maybe for future content. Especially when they introduce Sabbat clans, which we can talk about. We can talk about the clans that are not here that would make good classes for this game, but in a moment. If you are willing to help, speak to is it Kirill? Speak to Kirill. You will find him on the 2nd floor, through the hole in the wall. Brood him, most likely. While I have you, could you do me a small favor? I'm looking for a particular book that could help us. It should be in one of the bookshelves here in the main hall. Oh, I actually got a quest to retrieve something here in Elysium. Alright, before that, let's check the illicit menu. Archetypes is what they call them. So I went for the Toreador Siren. Not really looking into this though. I believe that's the one we got in the tutorial. Bruja Brute. Frontline defender. The Brute comes to the defense of their allies while keeping enemies at bay. We got Soaring Leap, as we saw. And the Shockwave Punch, which can, you know, make enemies jump back like that. Oh, did you see that slide? That's not something they teach you in the tutorial, and I couldn't figure out a way to do that because I couldn't figure out how to crouch. It's gotta be the same button. Regain health when not under fire. True Grit. Wow. That sounds OP. Bandolier Archetype perk. Regenerate from a down state 20% faster. And you level up each archetype. I see. It's kind of like Apex. It's kind of like a hero shooter. It's kind of like Realm Royale also. Like they have their classes that you level up individually, or they have their characters that you level up individually. And the more you play with them, the more you unlock with them, basically. So Vandal. Immense strength is channeled through the fist of the Vandal, making them bring the combat up close and personal with enhanced durability and crushing force. Give me a second here. You're just gonna check something on my dashboard. Okay, so they have Soaring Leap also. Earth Shock, crash down upon your enemies. Ooh. Adrenaline Rush, take less damage when enemies are near. Interesting. Saboteur Nosferatu, Stealthy Trapper. Oh, and wait, what was the archetype perk? Bandolier also? Is it the same for everyone? Alright, alright. Let's see. Shifting through the shadows. The Saboteur utilizes defensive contraptions to punish reckless enemies. Vanish, become invisible and move faster. Ah, Obfuscation, is it? Nice, 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 nice. You vanished there for a moment. I could see myself playing this class, actually. I could see that. Sewer Bomb. Place an explosive trap device. Ugh, that's nasty, a sewer bomb. Of all things. That's what it is. Boom. Unseen Passage. Ah, crouch to turn semi-transparent. Unseen. Oh, and just passive. Like, when you crouch, it just does that. That seems really helpful, indeed. Yeah, it's a rogue class. And it fits the Nosferatu. It fits to have this for a Nosferatu. I might play with that Nosferatu, but let's see. And Unseen Passage is just literally the name that is used like for an ability in the RPG. Relentless Hunter, so Prowler. By mastering the creatures of nature as well as the beasts within, the Prowler gains unparalleled abilities to track and reveal their enemies. You would think that's a Gangrel that does that. And again, I'm going to talk about this in a moment. And hold on, let me check my task manager. Things are kind of maximizing on the GPU and CPU dimensions here. I guess this is more heavy than like going into a game. So my PC face is a little bit slowed down. I hope that's okay with everyone. Anyway, become invisible and move faster. Scouting Famulous. Send bats to scout an area. Nice, 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 nice. I could see if they introduce Gangrel in the future also sharing this ability. You have seen that there's some abilities that are shared. This is good. Scouting the area, scanning it. That's so clever that they have things that are usually in a sci-fi sense in other games recontextualized and the supernatural of the setting here, which is great. And it's in a way that makes perfect sense. Sense the beast track wounded enemies. Oh. And Toreador Siren, let's see. Stunning beauty. Sirens are always looking for the next opportunity to leave enemies blinded by the mere sight of their beauty. Projection / dash, quickly dash to another location. Blinding beauty, blind nearby. Okay, and now my GPU and CPU are not that heavy. There's something about the Nosferatu textures that's just taking a lot. Huh. What is it about them then? That's kind of weird. So we may still have things spike during a game depending on the other characters maybe? Anyway. Quickly dash to another location, let's see. This could be helpful in its own way. Projection dash. Aha, a nice teleport there. Blinding beauty, blind nearby enemies. Oh. Talk about awe. Kindred charm. Civilians are charmed by your presence. What is the benefit of that? Oh, and I haven't read the descriptions of the things. Civilians in the siren's vicinity become charmed, making them faster to feed on. Oh, never mind. The CPU is still spiking a little bit. Hopefully everything still runs fine. Fine enough to continue the stream. If not, I might switch to PNG tubing for this. Charm targets will also act friendly towards the siren and their team, not triggering a breaking of masquerade while affected except if killed. So there is such a thing as a breach of the masquerade. If you feed on mortals, you want to be doing it away from any eyes. I'm guessing that just reveals you on the map if you breach the masquerade, just like when you kill someone. Instead of a stain on your humanity, it just has a big red target on you for other kindred. Which doesn't make sense in the RPG maybe, but it does make sense 100% for gameplay, I guess. You still get a penalty for like doing things you're not supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to give in to your beast. You're not supposed to be breaking the masquerade and revealing the secrets of darkness. That sort of thing. Muse, rejuvenating presence. Whenever allies falter, the Muse runs to the rescue and inspires them back into the fray through their enchanting song. Rejuvenating voice, heal yourself and nearby allies. I like this one. This sounds like me. This sounds like me. I'm a singer, so I gotta go for the Muse. Final act, use powers when down. When down, the Muse can use their powers and regenerate slightly faster. Oh, that looks so good. Kind of OP in a way, you might say. I like it. So Muse might be Saboteur. No, wait. Was it Prowler or Saboteur that I preferred? Prowler and Muse might be my favorites right now. Which both are kind of female looking from the looks of it. And then there's only one Ventru, which is the Enforcer. Imposing Juggernaut. The resolute will of the Enforcer disrupts enemy minds into a state of submission and disarray, crippling their usual supernatural prowess into mere shambles. We got Flesh of Marble, gain brief invulnerability. Let me see. I forget about the preview. Let's see. Harden your screen for a brief duration, turning you fully invulnerable as long as offensive actions are not used. Can be good for defensive purposes. You heal while you do that. You reload while you do that. Yeah. Charge forth and suppress enemies. Unyielding charge. Oh, very nice. Another powerhouse class. I mean, it's not all about the stereotypes. Like, Adventure doing this also makes sense. But at the same time, I can also... Oh, and I just realized I'm covering the videos in the back a little bit. I wonder if it's going to be worse if I switch to this overlay, because we can also do that. Give me a second. I'm just going to remove the schedule, and we are back to the game. Let's play it like this and see what it's like, okay? Hopefully it doesn't have more on the computer. I know things are spiking a little bit, and I'm getting a bit choppy. But yeah, dealing moderate damage and silencing enemies for a brief duration. Silenced enemies cannot use vampiric powers while affected. Subjugating presence. Nearby enemies have their movement speed slowed. The Venture is also alerted when the enemy would step into their presence. So again, it's not all like just about the clan stereotypes and all that. There's all sorts of things. For example, we had a corporate gangrel in New York by Night recently. So... even with that in mind, I can't help but think that, you know, a Bruja or a Gangrel would make more sense, but it's also good that they have this variety in it. This kind of variety in this as well. Wow, there's been a lot of frames missed due to rendering and encoding lag. But yeah, this is how it's gotta be. This is how it's gotta be. Oh, and then the quests, yeah. I don't know, I feel like I want to jump into a match before I start doing the quests, so... Oh yes, and I can dress them up differently. I do like the strong suit. But hold on. Wait a minute. What archetype am I going for? The thing about the Muse is that she may not be as good for solo gameplay, although she can heal herself. I can heal myself like that too, but... Siren. Blinding Beauty blinds nearby enemies. So yeah, I will tell you this though. I'm not gonna reveal what my clan is just yet. If anybody does care about that, I want you to maybe guess that. Because I want to know how many who don't know can get it right. Because I feel like if you know about me, and if you know about Vampire the Masquerade, then I think it's pretty obvious which my clan is. But, but, you know, we were saying it's not all about just the stereotypes, just the classics. But if you don't know me, well, welcome to the Tajigen Temple. I am your superstar host to the multi-dimensional Tajigen Kaiden. And as you see me and the way I behave on the stream, or perhaps you see clips from the channel while you're watching this, or VODs or something, well, maybe it will give you an idea. I will say Toreador is not my clan, but it's the closest out of these. I have a Nosferatu and a Toreador in me, which is a huge contrast, right? It's like they're complete opposites of each other, in a way. It's not like clans have like a rock, paper, scissors situation, but if they did, the opposites of each other would be Nosferatu and Toreador, like ice and fire, like black and white, like red and blue, like water and oil, you might say, kind of like that. So yeah, I can be quite the artist, you know. I dedicate as much of my life as possible to entertainment, and that can make me a great Toreador. As a Nosferatu, though, the transformation into a full monster, looking like an absolute monster, while still trying not to be a monster, and you didn't get to choose to look like this. I can relate to that. In another human form I've had, I unfortunately had some bad things happen to me. Not full disfigurement like a Nosferatu, but enough to make me like, you know, I can start feeling how they feel about things. So there's that. And yeah, both the classes are like that in the Nosferatu and Toreador ranges. Enforcer is kind of nice though. I kind of like this venture. But for the purposes of customization, I'm going to use this Siren. And the Kindred Charm can be really helpful to avoid breaking the Masquerade, if you will. Alright, let's see what customization we have. Oh, and actually you can have... okay, you can also change their gender, basically. If that is what that is. I don't think I want to change the head. Do I? That looks fine to me, I guess. Skin tone. I do kind of want to have... yeah, I think the skin tone fits me. What about that hair, though? This messy bob definitely fits me. I mean, look at me and then look at that, right? There's a good reason why I'm using my black hair color today. The long side cut doesn't fit me. Fringe, texture waves. Oh, it might be more about this, though. Yeah, this fits me a little bit more, I would say. The messy bob and the texture waves, both of them do really well, actually. Let's go for the texture waves, actually. Hair color, champagne blonde, ash gray, chocolate brown, charcoal black I'm gonna go for today. Eyes, deep brown, jade green, ocean blue, walnut brown. I'm gonna go for a nice ocean blue. There's no purple, otherwise I'd go for that. Let's see, makeup. Bronzed shadow, cat eye. Oh, an Egyptian kind of style for makeup would be killer, actually. Dark glam, equinox, full shadow, omniscience, subservient, and sun rays. Interesting. I really like bronzed shadow and cat eye. I'm gonna go for cat eye. I like it. And then tattoos, choker, ram's head, without end. No, tattoos like that don't fit me. And facial hair doesn't fit me either. Look at that, though, the Roman. This looks nice. And then the wardrobe, let's see. Basic wine is kind of nice. I can wear the suit also. Basic leather, kind of nice. If only I could change the color of it. That might be something that I gain as I level up or as I purchase things, or maybe it will come later as more things get released. Any piercings, Nirvana, silver hoops. I really like those silver hoops. I'm gonna keep them. No mask. They don't have that yet, I guess. How do you feed through the mask, though? Would you see an animation of your character taking off the mask? Oh, emotes. Okay. I gotta see how you do an emote exactly, because I'm not sure about this. I'm not gonna touch that for now. All right. Sovereign, bronze armament, Ankh. I like the Ankh. I think it's good enough. Then the player banner, bronze deity, time worn. Looks kind of generic, I will admit, but it works. I do like the sovereign one too, though. That's a beautiful black crown right there. Very evocative of the La Sombra. The La Sombra would be fun as an archetype here because you would have abilities to manipulate the darkness and the shadows. You can definitely have something like that. I can see it so clearly. I didn't talk about that. Yeah, the immediate first ones that I can think of that would make great archetypes are Tremere, because you have blood magic, so you would have all sorts of like fantasy elements you could bring in a way through that, if that makes any sense. And you would also have Gangrel or Tzimisce. I mean, you can have everyone, really. You can have everyone, but some are easier to implement in a game of this type than others, I would say. So yeah, that's how it would be. Gangrel or Tzimisce, because of the animalistic features, they're very different from each other. Tzimisce would have like those big claws that they can use. A character in New York by Night did those recently, and they sound like a lot of fun. Both Tzimisce and Gangrel the most, I think, can transform into animals, bats, wolves, that sort of thing. It can definitely be done, so very easy to do. I'm guessing they're gonna introduce another Ventrue soon, so that it keeps being 2 of each clan, maybe? That would be a lot of archetypes, but I mean, look at Apex Legends, for example. How many characters do they have? If you have 1 of each clan, that makes it be 26, which may be a lot. No, sorry, 2 of each clan is 26 because it's 13 clans. So yeah, there's that. And then there's also beyond the 13 clans that they could include, which is another story. The clans that I don't see as much, oh well, La Sombra is one that could be good too. If they do a Sabbat update, Tzimisce and La Sombra could come in very nicely. These days, they are not that much exclusively Sabbat, but still, they're still like associated with them a lot. And then also, what was I gonna say? Banu Hakim might be one I could see. The Ministry with their serpentine stuff I could see. Malkavian, I don't quite see how that would be shown in a gameplay perspective. It's all about the dementation, maybe the Madness Network. Being able to have a vision of things or something. Being able to see opponents wherever they are on the map for a moment or something. I could see that maybe as a vision. Being able to just stun an opponent because you drive them mad for a few seconds or a minute or something like that. I could maybe see that. But anyway, I gotta go AFK. When we come back, we're definitely gonna play a game, queue up, and maybe do the missions while I'm queuing up. Taking a look at the rest of the stuff we have here also. But as always, everyone, stay connected to the multi-dimensional portal. Night has fallen.